Bro fans, this is Todd. Sorry for the little bit late start, but let's go ahead and let me pull it up on my phone so I can see your guys' comments. And so this is my custom figure, and I actually pulled him out the other day to show you guys for a different video. And I was just getting ready to put him away, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't put him away. There's some problems with him I gotta fix first. So let me go ahead and show you what I found out. So first I noticed was this little black spot right there on his leg. And I'm like, oh, man. I hate when I get those because I'm always afraid they're going to spread to other figures. And so it's like, I got to fix that right away. Then as I was looking, I noticed his ankles have all that black paint wore off. And it just looks horrible. And so it's like, oh, I got to fix that too. Then I was holding him, and his legs are all floppy. It's like, floppy legs. We got to fix that too. So I thought, well, before I fix them, maybe I'll make a video showing how to fix this figure so you guys can see how it's done. So let me go ahead and get to the video here. Gotta wait for the ad to finish. There we go. All right. Hey, Seth. Hey, James. Thanks for joining us, both of you. So let's go ahead and fix this guy. Now, before I jump into it, I'll show you the difference between the custom and the regular figure. So here is the regular figure here compared to the custom. And what I wanted was I wanted to have like the comic book version, but the comic book version I was going to take and steal his armor from this figure here, but it just didn't look right. And so I kind of liked the way this one looked. And I eventually came from the samurai figure from the DC collection. That's where I stole the armor from. And you can see if you carefully pull this apart, you can get the glue off there. And then once you get the glue off, you just pull it off this figure and then stretch it onto this figure with a lot of heat and then quickly glue it while it's stretched out, and you can get it to fit onto there. So I'm surprised that fits, considering then, you know, you can see how tight it fits on him compared to him. On him, it's pretty loose and floppy. On him, it's like super tight, but it still looks way cool. Then I grabbed a samurai He-Man sword, and there you go. And his body is He-Man's body, but the boots are Tri-Klops boots. So you can see that I decided to keep the same boots on him. So there is the figure and how I made him. So with that, hey Fallen Jedi, hey Black Phoenix 77, happy Saturday. Yes, gotta love Mattel's quality control. That is for sure. So I got my vat of hot water here. So we're gonna do a lot of heating up and pulling apart this figure in order to fix them. I couldn't find my spoons. My wife just came in here and found it for me. It's on the floor. She goes, it's on the floor. There it is. And then I have a board here that I'm going to use to help press fit the parts. So we'll just go ahead and set that board right there. And I'll move him aside so I don't accidentally do the wrong figure. And then for his legs, we're going to use this tool right here and these O-rings right here. Now, if you want to find out what O-rings I use, let me first dump the figure in the hot water so we can get this started, and then I will take you guys to the site to show you. So let's go ahead and dump him in the water, and basically I want to get his legs off and his boots off so we can start to work on the boots. So I want to have him so he's waist high. I do not want to get his torso into the hot water because it might crack. So you only want to lower him so far just so you can get those legs off. All right. So if you want to find out what size O-rings I use, here's my iPad. If you go to hebro.com, he-bro.com, it will take you to this website right here. And on this website, if you scroll down about halfway down through here, you will find a small table on here. It says O-rings used in various repairs. And then on here, you'll see that it has the various repairs I do, from loose neck to boot fix to tighten hip and leg joint. It tells you what figure it is. We're talking classics. So for the tighten leg joint and hip, it is the number 47 O-ring, and has the outside diameter and the inside diameter and the wall. And you just slide over the thigh into the leg pit. So you can see exactly what O-rings I use in all my videos by going to hebro.com. Hebro.com. All right, and it's he-bro. All right, that's enough plugging my site. Nobody ever goes there anyway, but if you do decide to check it out, there it is, and it takes 2 O-rings, 1 for each leg, and we'll do that last. That's one of the last things we'll do. We fix this figure. All right, let's get him out of the hot water. Let's pull his boots off first so we can start working on those. And I'm going to toss these boots in there because I'm going to use these parts right here for the black pieces that are already on there. And use those donor parts, and they're just from a figure like this, our Molar from the 2-pack. So I'm going to toss those in there. And let's see if we can get his legs off if they're hot enough yet. Ooh, I can actually need them both off to do the leg surgery. Nope, not hot enough yet. So we'll just set them right back in there. All right, so our goal is to get these apart and then replace that middle piece in there. So take this front part off. You just grab the heel and you pull it back just like that. And you can take out the part just like that. And I want to do just 1 foot at a time so I don't accidentally mix them up. Because once you get them off here, sometimes it's hard to tell which side this goes with. Sometimes they're marked L and R, sometimes they're not. And it's just crazy that this one you can see has been painted. I'm not quite sure how that got that way. And then I'll pull out this right here. And the peg as well, because they were all originally not black. And I want the black pieces. All right, let's check out those boots and see if they're done. Let me grab my spoon. Spoon. Whew. Hot, hot, hot. Some like it. Hot, hot, hot. All right. And just for kicks, let's use the same size leg. Not that it's going to matter. Again, pull from the heel. I don't think I quite got it hot enough to get that all out of there. There we go. And then we'll pull this out of there. And now I got some black parts that are actually black and not skin tone painted. Now, when you put this on, you want the small part of the pin to go towards the back of the heel. So we'll just go ahead and set this on there. Squeeze it in place. Ooh. Just like closing a snap. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get the close right. And in that case, you're going to want to heat it up and then use a tool like one of these to push it in place. So I'm going to drop that back in the hot water. Let's check his legs while we got him out of here. Hey, all right. There's one leg. Whoo, that's hot. There's the other leg. And this is the leg with the problem. So we're going to take and pull this apart. Leaving the leg pin in there, though. Oop. I'm going to set this over there. We will just put that pin back in there on one side. That way I don't lose it. And I'm going to steal this donor leg piece from another figure. Now I have a whole bunch of these legs here, which are really nice matching color, but there's no boot cut. So I need to use this leg right here. It's very close in color, but not an exact match. We'll see how it looks on the figure. Hopefully it won't be too noticeable that the match is not exact. I probably should have thrown that shoe in there too. We'll see. All right, now it's heated up. Let's see if we can close that all the way. That's looking pretty good. Hooray. Let's see. Nope, the foot is too cold. Let's just drop that in there as well. Let's look at your guys' comments. Gotta love Mattel quality control. Yep. James said, I picked up a Viking Skeletor and Barbarian He-Man today. Nice. Yeah, those are both good figures. Kind of looking forward to getting mine. Let's get that foot out of there. We'll drop that leg back in there. It takes a little longer to heat up. And just like before, you put the front on first. Fit. There we go. And then slide the heel up over the back. Dun, da, da. There we go. One done. Little loose, but it is done. Now let's drop the other badly painted leg in there, foot in there, and pull this out and see if we can't get this one apart yet. Now, the bump goes on the inside so I can tell which leg it goes on. So this one right here, you can see the bumps in the front. We'll just rip this leg out of here. And we'll just throw it back in this leg. And I probably should have reheated this one up before I... Yep, I'm going to have to reheat. All right, let's see if that boot is ready to come apart yet. Hooray. Oh, I should have pulled the foot off first. It's easier to get off while it's still connected. It's way harder to get off if you have less leverage this way. Ugh. Bad planning on my part. Hooray. All right, now we need the new pieces from this boot right here. And let's pull that other one out and see if it's hot enough to reassemble. Now it stinks as water is cooling down pretty quick. Even though I have the hot plate underneath there, it still cools down relatively quick. So I have to be careful about that. I may have to redo the water because this button's really hard to get in there if it's cooled at all. So we got to make sure that's nice and hot. And if it is kind of hard to get in there, again, you can take this and take one of these balls and just try to shove it through. And sometimes you'll get lucky and it will pop in place for you. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. So close. There we go. Dun, da, da. All right, so that leg is done. Let's go and zoom back out. My fingers are all wet from grabbing the parts out of the water. All right. Pull the boot off first. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, water's starting to cool down a little bit, so it's being a little finicky on me. Okay, let's drop it back down there. I've seen some custom feet for Beastman Origins. How hard do you think it is to separate the ankles on those? All right, let's go ahead and just try that. I happen to have a figure right here. You know what? I'm going to use Stratos to do it. He's got the same feet. Dun-da-da. Same feet as Beastman. I'm sure they're really easy to pull off. We will just toss them in there. Meanwhile, let's get this back out of there. And then we'll see how hard it is to change out a foot like Beastman. There we go. Yeah, my water's really cooling down. Makes it a lot harder to change the parts out. All right. So yeah, I got to heat that back up again. I may have to get more hot water before we finish this. All right, so let's go ahead and see his feet. Oh, yeah, his are really easy. They just slide right off that pin. Bam. There you go. Drill a hole at an angle and just pops right on. Pops right off. So that's really easy to change out. Easier than classics. All right, and make sure the long end of the pin, see a short end here, the long end there, the long end of the pin goes forward. Hooray, that went in pretty easy. Nice. I was expecting more fight. Let's go and toss this in now and heat that up. So you can put that back on. And then we will stick the two new boots back on the legs. Then we'll add the tightening piece onto the legs. And then we will finally put them back together. Again, put the front in first. Yeah, it's just not hot enough. No. So close, but no cigar. I really don't want to break the pin on this. So I'll be right back. I need to grab some more hot water. Sorry, you guys. This is just not keeping it hot enough for some reason. It feels really hot, but it just takes so much heat to get these feet to work. So you can look at my broken custom, and I'll be right back with some more hot water. All right, well, my wife's going to grab the hot water for us. I'm going to go and dump this while we're waiting. And then we'll talk figures while we're waiting too. Actually, you know what? I'm going to toss that foot in there just while it has some hot water still left in there. Just to see, it might get hot enough. All right. So while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and put on the O-rings onto his legs to tighten up that section. First, want to make sure this is cooled down before you do it, because if this is still hot, you're going to end up ruining where it connects right there. So what we're trying to do is hook the O-ring right to that section right there. Looks like it's starting to crack. No. If you do have some cracking going on like I do on mine, you're going to want to take and add super glue to that area. I'll do that later. I'll add a big old glob of super glue to protect it. I'll let it sit overnight. But let's go ahead and add our O-rings. So to do this, you first take your O-ring on this tool here and stretch it out. And you want to keep stretching it and keep turning it as you stretch it. Turn, stretch, turn, stretch, turn it and stretch it. And the reason why you do it is just like a balloon. You want it so it doesn't going to snap on you. If you try to put it in while it's unstretched, it's going to end up snapping on you, and then it will not work. And to get it on, you put it over the leg, just like that. And you need to get it over the back and over the front. There we go. And once you have that over the leg, then you take and slide it up and over. Now, if this cracks before I have a chance to glue that, I will not be a happy camper. There we go. And now you can see it right up inside there. And that's what we're looking for. All right, now for the other side. Stretch it out. And then slide it up and over. Oh. Slide it to the back and over the front. There you go. And then slide it up and over the leg. Oh, our hot water's here. Thank you very much. A little bit more. That's good. Thank you so much. Ah, fresh hot water. All right. And that now tightens up those legs so that they won't be so floppy anymore. Now, again, for this spot right here, I am going to take and put a big glob of super glue on there and let it sit overnight to just make it more protection. Once it cracks, you are really bumming at that point. So you want to do it before it cracks so you don't have any issues. All right, let's go ahead and see if that foot has warmed up enough. It's been sitting in there for a while with the lukewarm water, and now with the super hot water, it should be good to go. Whew, that is hot now. And again, you want to slide it over the front and then up over the back. Dun, da, da. Let's go ahead and toss both these boots back in the water to heat them up. And then we'll put the legs back on. No patience for the O-rings. Yes, they can be kind of painful sometimes trying to get them. Hey, Cobweb, no problem. I'm glad I could help you with the Beast Man. All right. This is water so hot it should be good now. Let's pull it out and take a look. I just thought of something. I should stick them on like that. Boop. Make some stubby little short guy. That is funny. Anyway, I will put them on here like I'm supposed to instead of messing around. So this foot goes on this leg. As you can see the bumps going on the outside. And this foot goes on this leg because the bump's going on, well, the inside right there, I mean. There we go. There we go. Let's heat the whole leg up and toss it in there now. Oh, that one fell in. All right, it should go pretty quick. Then we'll have him done. Why was they made so cheap? So, Mike, that's a really good question. It's kind of interesting. Some were made really good, and they came out just awesome. Other ones had issues with the plastic cracking. And being this was an older He-Man body, one of the first ones, it does have a problem cracking. The plastic just had issues for the first runs. Definitely did. Like King Grayskull, for instance, had a really bad problem cracking all the time too. The hips, the shoulders, and the foot pegs would all have problems cracking on the old King Grayskull, the one that came in the Grayskull pack. And I'm really not sure what the black mold squares or circles come from. I've been trying to figure that out for a while, but they seem to be really deep inside the plastic, and I'm not sure why they get like that. And because it's embedded under the plastic and kind of deep inside there, you can't get it out. You'd have to literally drill a hole to take it out. I have seen guys paint over them. I don't know what it is, so I'm always afraid to mix figures that have those black marks. So if I find a figure that black mark, I try to either get rid of it as quick as I can or swap the parts out or whatever. But this part will not go in my bin because I want to keep it separate, so I don't know if it can spread to other parts or not. I just have that fear that it can if it happens to be some kind of mold. If it's just a defect with the figure, which it could be, then it wouldn't spread any further. But I know when I built this figure, that black mark was not there. So it showed up later. So, all right, there we go. He is done being built. His legs are too rubbery to stand on right now, so I'll let it sit for a while. And you can see that the plastic's not an exact match, but it's not bad. You wouldn't notice it unless you knew that I changed it out or someone pointed it out. And I could put a light brownish yellow wash on there and it'd look just fine. You probably couldn't tell at all at that point. So let's just set him here on this wood and let him cool down. And let's check out your other questions while he's cooling. And then you will see. He is wearing the Superpower Samurai shirt. You are correct. This is the figure I got it from. And I thought it'd be a cool way to customize my Tri-Klops. And I really like that on him. And then, like I said, he has an actual He-Man body, except the oranges match pretty close to the oranges on the Samurai. But I gave him his original boots. And it's funny, I never noticed that this one was painted or not. They may be, because I know his forearm is painted too. Which always bothered me, because this forearm is plastic, and this forearm is painted. I forgot what color it was underneath there, but I know that it's not Caucasian skin. You can actually see the difference. And actually, you know what? Let's kill the lights. Let's check this out. Let me go and turn on my skylight really quick. I'm waiting for Samurai Tri-Klops to cool down. Lights off.
Okay, done.
All right, so we've got the lights off now. And now let's turn off the final light here. Burp, burp. Let's turn on my black light. And see, you can see the arm difference. See how it's glowing all kind of. And so you know that this one's been painted as opposed to this one being plastic. So that's how you can really tell if something's been painted or not, because you will see the difference in it. So there you go. Yeah, and it was funny too, because at first I could care less about Tri-Klops when you first got them, because I was hoping they'd re-release a new one that didn't have a painted arm. And so I had like 5 of these Tri-Klops, and I kept selling them, thinking, okay, someday they're going to re-release them with a fixed forearm, and they never did. The reason why his forearm's different is because the first one that had the regular cuff. Like He-Man's arms, he had this kind of cuff on right here. And so this was the first figure released with a regular bracelet cuff instead of a shield cuff. So you can kind of see that's why this forearm was made in a different mold. And because it was made in a different mold, they had to paint it to match. So, and everything else on him is a standard He-Man buck, except for that one arm. So the one arm they had to run in a different, like I said, a different mold. All right, let's turn the lights back on. Actually, before I turn the lights back on, check this out. I did that video on the glow-in-the-dark paint, and the company who made the paint saw my video, and they're like, you know what? You're right. That paint is kind of hard. We're going to send you a sample pack. So they sent this to me right here. And what it is it's the powder that they make the paint out of. So I can use any kind of paint I want to mix with it, whether I use some kind of clear paint or something else. And that way I can make the powder as thick as I want in the paints to have it so it glows a lot brighter. So let's check this out. Where's my black light now? Where did I set it? There it is. So check out these colors. These are so cool looking. You can already see they're lit up already before I even hit the light on it. Burp, 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 burp. Look at that. That is just so cool. What color? This one's supposed to be purple, I think. It does not glow quite as bright as the other ones do, but it's still cool. I mean, you can do some pretty cool stuff with these glow-in-the-dark paints. Here's the white one. Burp. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? And so I'm thinking of mixing it just real thick with a lot of powder and a little bit of clear paint, and just kind of keep going a little bit at a time to see what I can end up doing with it. But it is cool. Anyway, let's go and turn the lights back on. I think by now he should be cooled off enough to stand on his own 2 feet. I just want to show you what these guys got for me. I'll make a whole video about this later on with the glow in the dark and link to their website. Lights on. Oh, bright light. Bright lights. Where's his samurai? You know, his sword is kind of bent. I should probably have stuck that in the hot water too. What was I thinking? Herb. You can just see how wobbly it gets there when it's in there. Wobble, 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 wobble. Whoop. Oh, put my fingers in there. A little too hot. I'll just set that on the wood for a minute to cool down and stay straight. Almost samurai Tri-Klops. You gotta admit, this suit looks pretty cool on him. I mean, he looks badass. I almost wonder if I should use different boots on him. You know, looking at the boots he has, the green was always really cool to have the original Tri-Klops boots, but maybe I should have gone with brown so it matches his shorts. I don't know. Let me see your guys' comments and tell me what you think. Should I have gone with a brown or a red boot? Castle Grayskull Man is an awesome figure to have, because even if you don't have all the classics, you could use them as a giant figure with against your Origins, or even mix them with your Revelation figures. I mean, Castle Grayskull Man is pretty cool all the way around. All right. That sword's almost cooled. I got it sitting there so it's flat on the wood so it can not be so bent once it's done. I mean, yes, I do like the old regular Tri-Klops too. I mean, he is cool too. But even though this is not the comic version, in my mind, this is the comic version here. So. All right. Time to put the samurai sword in his hand. Ho! Now he is complete. With his leg fixed, his boots fixed, he is now ready to go back into the box and sit for years. And I checked all the figures around him where he was in the box, and no other figures had the black marks because I was afraid that it might have spread, but it did not. And for those that just joined, the issue we had mainly, which really bothered me, is this little black dot on this leg. And I tried cleaning with alcohol first, and it's way below the surface. The only way to really get it out would be to drill it out and then refill the leg with some kind of plastic and then paint over it. I mean, I suppose I could have done that like a dentist, drilling out the damaged piece and then refilling it and then painting it. Who knows? Maybe I still might. We will see. But for right now, I gave him a donor leg piece, and that's what he's standing on now. And if you look close, the color is slightly different. Just slightly. It's not like really obvious. But if I would have swapped both bottom pieces, you probably wouldn't notice at all. But you can tell because this one's different for sure. But from here to here, it doesn't look too crazy. Anyway, and if I would have swapped the whole leg for both legs, it would have had even less of a difference then too. But it's weird. Usually those black spots, for some reason, appear right here in the forearm. And I don't know why that is, but I have like 3 or 4 figures that have gotten them right in the forearm right here. And I don't get why that place is such a high area to get those black dots. It's just really strange. Is Tri-Klops color, is Tri-Klops blind? Interesting. Yes, even the vintage figures vary in skin tones quite a bit. Yep, it's annoying to grab a vintage figure and the chest has been yellowed, and so it looks kind of weird. Like you grab a Webster and he looks kind of greenish on the chest, and then he looks normal color on his arms and legs. That is a cool looking Tri-Klops. So this Tri-Klops, as you can see underneath his helmet, he has like 2 things going over his eyes when they designed this. So I look at it as like it's like virtual reality things, and inside there he sees the 3 screens. And yes, it's probably that his optical nerves were severed at one time, and so this new device going in where his eyes used to be helps him see. So at one time he was blind, I'm guessing, or got damaged or hurt at some point. And then with the helmet, he can see all 3 eyes at once. I made a whole entire video on it showing what they all see and what they do. I don't know what it is. I have no idea if it's black rot or mold or mildew. I have no idea, but it's deep in the plastic. And you can see, if you look close, it's kind of almost spreading up a little bit away from there too. So that's why it scares me, and why I want to remove it as soon as I can and just get it off the figure and make sure it's not stored with the rest of them. So I may, for fun, take this piece, put it in a Ziploc bag, and stick other pieces in there to see if it spreads, pieces I don't care about. That would be kind of a fun experiment, just to see if it does spread from one figure to another. I might do that instead of throwing it away. Skeletor probably poked his eyes out. Oh, actually in Icons of Evil, I believe he was already blind, and he had like a green scarf over his head. So he looked almost like a Daredevil or something with his scarf over his head. So, all right. That's all that I have. You got to admit the armor looks cooler on him than on him. And it's funny, when I took the armor off him, I threw him in the kids box, and then I saw someone online selling just the armor and the sword. So I rebought the armor to put on my figure, so he too can have. And it was funny, it was actually glued on his back right there, you can see. But this armor is actually from a different figure from somebody else on eBay that was just selling the armor. And I'm like, hey, I could use that armor. All right, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you guys next video. And if I have other figures to fix, I'll try to do them on video so you guys can learn how I fix different figures and stuff. That way it's kind of cool, so you guys can be learning at the same time. And sometimes I know what I'm doing, and sometimes I'm experimenting. So it'll be kind of a fun journey to go through together as I try to fix things anyway. So it may come out different than I planned at the beginning when I first start the video. And I know sometimes these live videos get kind of long. I'll try to make a shortened version that I'll release later, like the next day. So if you see the shortened version, it might have some music and maybe a couple more pictures or outtakes. So that is it. And good journey, you guys. Yeah. That is, the Icons of Evil had some pretty bad stuff, especially the way he treated Trapjaw. That was the worst story of all of them, I think. The Beastman story was cool. I liked how he got Beastman as his sidekick. All right, until next time, probably another video tonight. Bye now.